dear viewers, as we were discussing that the Gardner theory, which was modified, which was given in 1983 and was modified in 1987, it gave maximum value to the linguistic and logical mathematical modalities. Now, Howard Gardner, he had talked about these theory of multiple intelligence. He had talked about that the theory of intelligence which deals with the multiple aspect. As I told you that it is not a single entity, rather it is the one which deals with the distinct identity, not a single one, not a unidimensional concept, rather it is a multidimensional concept. Now, we will be focusing upon that how these abilities play a vital role in the person's life. Now, when we talk about the linguistic logical ability, linguistic as the term itself denotes that it talks about the language. What type of language we people are using? Every person has a LED, that is a language acquisition device, that is genetically determined. But how effectively we do have the speaking skills, linguistic skills to impress somebody as well as to make our approach logical. So, it talks about the linguistic logical ability, that how much effectively, how smartly we are using the language to make other people to comprehend our message. That shows the linguistic logical ability. Another is a linguistic mathematical ability, that how much effectively are we using our linguistic ability in order to deal with the mathematical operations, that how permutations, combinations do we make, how we use the effective terminologies of formulas in order to deal with the mathematical problems is an important question. At the very same time, spatial intelligence is also very important, that how we do get able to have the spatial relationships, means for example, if I am viewing some object, what type of relationship do I make in relation to the space? That is a spatial ability. Then comes the bodily kinesthetic ability, which really makes that, for example, I have taken some stimulus from the environment, how my body reacts to it, how quickly I do react to it, what kind of a motor response do I give to it, along with my kinesthetic sensation. This is also very important. Then comes musical ability. Musical ability, that if I listen to some music, how do I identify the pitch, how do I get acquainted with the timbre of that music, how do I like that music, how do I come to know about the pitch of that music. That shows your ability. Then comes as it is in relation to your social intelligence that we had talked about earlier. Now, interpersonal intelligence refers that how a person is maintaining the relationship with other people. Inter refers to the between, means that how I am able to maintain my harmonious relationships with my colleagues. It is a very daunting task. Sometimes when we are working some setup or when we are studying, so it is very difficult for we people to maintain cordial relationship maximum of the time with our colleagues. Maybe the reason is some professional rivalry. Maybe sometimes the reason is that we don't get positive vibes from other people. Sometimes we feel that there is a difference of opinion. So how to maintain those harmonious relationship with other people, whether they are in our work setup or whether they are in our family setup, or whether it is our college mates or whether they are the school mates. So interpersonal intelligence does play a vital role in our life as well as in the intelligence. Then comes intrapersonal. Earlier was an interpersonal, that is a relationship between the two people. But when we talk about the interpersonal, it is a relationship within the people, within the person. What it means that how intelligently do we able to tackle the situation in our own. Sometimes I would cite an example. For example, sometimes I feel that within my own self, I am not feeling comfortable. So at that time, how intelligently do I try to hide my true feelings from the other person or from my own, that I am feeling some negative, how to manage that? That is also showing intrapersonal intelligence. For example, if I am not feeling comfortable or mentally I am feeling upset, so at that time it becomes if I am intelligent enough, so at that time within my own self I will be able to maintain a balance between my internal environment as well as external environment, and after a certain time period I would be fine and normal person. Then comes the naturalistic intelligence, that shows that how a person views the nature, how a person views the images of birds, animals around them. How do we view the objects related to nature? For example, how do we view the trees? How do we view the sea? So how do we view water? All the things which are related to the nature, how we enjoy the serenity, how we enjoy the natural scenic beauty of any place, that shows our naturalist intelligence. So Gardner noted that all these out of all these intelligence, the most important is the linguistic and logical mathematical modality. Now the question arises that why only these two modalities are important? Is intrapersonal ability is not important? No doubt they are very important, but when we are talking about our scholastic aptitude or scholastic ability, or the score which a student is obtaining at a school level, or the kind of image the person is trying to project as a good student, as an intelligent student before the society, then these two modalities play a vital role. Then after that, just 2 years later, in 1985, Robert Sternberg was the one who stated that somebody has talked about the unifactor theory, very renowned people have talked about the dual factor theory, then somebody has talked about the primary mental abilities, then somebody has talked about the multi-factor theory, and somebody has talked about so many abilities together and multiple intelligence there. He stated that instead of talking about so many mental abilities or the levels or the types of the primary intelligence, we need to work upon a certain theory which involves the different components. And he particularly mentioned that these components, which are really very vital components or which are the basic elements of intelligence, were not present in the Gardner's theory. Because, my dear viewers, if we say that the Gardner's theory of intelligence got a lot of popularity, but Sternberg was the one who turned out to be a contemporary, rather an opponent, and he had proposed a theory that is a triarchic theory. So this theory is based on the definition of intelligence. Sternberg had talked about this theory, and in this he stated that what is an intelligence? It is an ability to achieve success based on your personal standards and your socio-cultural context. He had a very valid point in stating about intelligence, because the earlier theorists which we have discussed earlier, they all had focused upon this abilities, whether it is a mathematical ability, whether it is a linguistic ability, whether it is a naturalistic ability, whether it is a musical intelligence. He had stated that our potential to get a success, whether I turn out to be a successful person or I turn out to be a goal-oriented person, it all depends upon my own personal standards, because I am the one who would be standing my own personal standards. Nobody is there who would be standing my own personal standards, because nobody has a right to standardize my personal norms, as well as your socio-cultural context also. This is very important, because we all are social animals. We cannot stay in isolation. For example, if I say that I am the maker of my own destiny, I am the maker of my own future, that's right. But definitely what I have to achieve and what I have to do to achieve my target, it depends upon my socio-cultural norms. It depends upon my society also. So if I really want to make myself as an adapted person in the society, I need to think about the socio-cultural milieu maximum of the times. So when we talk about this, it is an ability to achieve the success which is based on a personal standards, what my personal standards, and the congruence of my personal standards in relation to the social cultural milieu which is prevailing at that time. So according to the triarchic theory, intelligence has three aspects that he had focused upon, that is an analytical, creative and practical. Then analytical intelligence. If we talk about analytical intelligence, it was also referred to as a componential intelligence, as the nomenclature itself says. Componential means the components, important componential aspect is there in this analytical intelligence. Analytical intelligence also itself denotes that how we analyze, how we go for the minute to minute extraction as well as the expedition of that particular aspect is something very important. How do we analyze it, how we extract the meaning of each and every element of that particular task which has been given to us, it is in compositional intelligence. And compositional intelligence refers to the intelligence that is applied to analyze or evaluate the problems and arrive at solutions. What does it mean? That how do we take up the problems, how do we analyze them, and how do we evaluate our problems, whether we evaluate the problems in a very complex manner or we evaluate the problems in a very easy manner, and to what extent are we able to reach the solutions. This is also very important. Sometimes what happens, we are able to evaluate the problems, but as far as solution is concerned, we are in a dilemma. We are not getting able to how to reach the solution. It happens so many times in our life also. We find that we'll be able to solve the problems and we are able to evaluate that problem, that problem is going to create a problem for us. It is going to create a trouble for us. We are able to predict it, but sometimes analysis we are doing it, but how to overcome that problem and to reach at an acceptable solution, it sometimes turns out to be beyond our level. It turns out to be a very cumbersome task. So at that time a person needs to go for the analytical intelligence, and this analytical intelligence helps an individual to analyze a situation, analyze a problem in a very organized manner, as well as to reach the solution again in a very flexible manner as well as in a very organized and meticulous manner. Then the second intelligence which was given by this psychologist was a creative intelligence. Now creative intelligence, when Sternberg had discussed about it, it is the ability to go beyond what is given to create novel and interesting ideas. Creativity itself talks about Sarachanatmakta. It takes about that how much creative a person is. So when we go beyond that to make it something more novel, make it something more attractive, more vibrant, more lively, so at that time creative intelligence plays a most pivotal role, especially when we put some ideas which are really very interesting and which are really able to catch attention of the people. It talks about the creative intelligence. For example, if some students have been given an assignment, and how they are getting maximum of the students, they are getting lectures from a teacher, but how effectively do they present their assignments? By putting some more creative ideas, by putting some more case studies, by putting some more live examples, by putting some more audio touch up into it, or by putting it more video touch up in it. So in that way it turns out to be more lively and more creative. That shows an individual's ability, that how creative, how innovative the person is. So this type of intelligence involves your imagination, the way you imagine the world. It talks about your kalpana, that how do you imagine the entire world, and how you are putting innovative ideas, new ideas, not confining yourself to the traditional ideas, but here you are taking a hybrid approach. You are taking the help of the basic ideas, your conventional approach, as well as you are taking an approach something which are dealing with the modern concept, and then you are dealing with a product which would turn out to be very innovative, because it is a combination of the traditional approach as well as your modern approach. So it would be turning out to be a hybrid model. And then your problem solving, how effectively, how quickly, how in a righteous manner you are able to solve the problem, that is in creative intelligence. So for example, if we talk about this EV, the electrical vehicles are coming, that how this particular hybrid model is the real product of the creative intelligence of our engineers is a clear-cut example of this creative intelligence, and how we are able to solve the problems, that is also the creative intelligence. Then comes the practical intelligence. Now normally we say that a person a bookish knowledge is not enough. Okay, bookish knowledge is also very important, but one needs to have a practical knowledge also. If a person has a blend of theoretical intelligence as well as a practical intelligence, it would be leading to the more added on effect. So the practical intelligence is what? It is the ability that individuals use to solve problems faced in daily life. Now every person has different kind of situations in day to day life. Sometimes in the morning we are very happy, in the afternoon also we are feeling good, but somehow suddenly we are overloaded in the evening time. So at that time, instead of taking it as a problem, but how do we get able to manage that problem in an effective manner? That is the task of the how practically intelligent are we to face the situation in our day to day schedule. Then when a person finds the best fit between themselves and the demands of the environment. Now my dear viewers, the practical intelligence comes into action only when a person, either you or me, finds that this is the best solution. It is not to create any misfit between my own self and the demands of the environment. Rather, I need to prove myself that this is the best fit between myself and what the environment demands from me. It means that, for example, you are going to for some marketing, and in the marketing you don't find that your friend buys something and you feel that that dress which she is buying, it is not good. So instead of straightforward saying that this dress is not is very, it's very shabby, or it is not fit to buy it, or it's not worth for that, instead of saying that, if you say that, okay, instead of going for this color, rather this color would be more bright, it would be looking matching to your personality, because you have got a really wonderful personality. Rather your personality would turn out to be more smarter as compared to what you are actually. So in that way, practically you have tried to handle the situation. Neither you have made your friend to realize that you don't want to make her feel that she won't look good in that color. Moreover, you have made her to realize, to feel, to come into the good books of your friend, that you are so concerned for that person that you want her to look more charming and beautiful. So this is the practical intelligence. Now when we talk about this triarchic theory, these are the synonyms. This is first is a compositional sub theory, then we have a contextual sub theory, and then we have experiential sub theory. If we talk about this contextual sub theory, then if we talk about the triarchic theory, then in the triarchic theory, compositional theory is the first one. Compositional theory refers to that the way we are projecting the entire situation, it all depends on the what kind of components we are taking up from the entire material. This is also something very important. Then we do talk about the experiential aspect. In the triarchic theory, we had talked about the experiential aspect, which was very important in the last slide. So when we talk about this contextual, after compositional, we have taken the basic elements, and then we want to see that what type of context we are using. So whenever we are talking something, it should not be out of the context, rather it has to be within the context. Then comes experiential subtheory. What type of experience? On the basis of our experiences, sometimes we say that it is an experiential approach. Experiential approach refers to that what type of experience do we have in relation to that context and in relation to that component matters a lot when we talk about the intelligence. So dear viewers, this was the entire view of intelligence, but not only confining to this, the another important question to for me as well as for you people, it comes into mind is that there have been so many propounders of various theories of intelligence. Which theory turns out to be the best one? Now every thinker has its own valid point, own logic, own theoretical proposition, own combinations. So if we want to say that the triarchic theory is best, or we say that Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence is best, or we say no, that Spearman factor theory is best, no, all have their own positive points as well as negative points. Yes, no doubt, when we were talking only about the monofactor theory, in those times talking about the intelligence itself was a very naive concept. And at that time, when the Alfred Binet, he had talked about the concept of mental age in relation to the chronological age, that at that time itself it was a big task which he had done it, he had accomplished it. So we need to give due recognition to that theory, that the G factor does prevail in everybody, even in the lower order species also, and even the higher order species also. G factor is there, some sort of rationality, some sort of logic is there. But in relation to that, when they talked about, no, it is not necessary that each and every person in this world is having a G factor. No, along with that we have the specific abilities. In the specific abilities, we do talk about that a person along with this linguistic ability, the person has got the more logical ability, the person has got better perceptual ability, the person has got the better linguistic mathematical ability. So this was the point. So instead of saying that a person has got only general ability, no, it is not like that. The person does have the specific abilities also along with the general factor. Then the third factor, which was very important, that was a different primary mental abilities. Primary mental abilities do also play a vital role in our life. Then comes another concept that was given by this Gardner. He had talked about the various kinds of multiple intelligence level. When he had talked about the multiple intelligence level, we had stated that at school level there are certain abilities, there are certain level of intelligence which plays a vital role. Then Sternberg theory, triarchic theory, that it is very important. It is an information processing model. This information processing model, as I told you, it talks about the different three sub theories, that is a compositional theory, contextual theory and experiential sub theory. But this is a theory that deals only with our academic ability. Now the how much the person is able to score, how much the person is having a mathematical ability, that would be determined by all these theories of intelligence. But after a certain time period, there was another concept. They stated that fine, a person is scoring high, a student has really scored high, the student is being labeled as intelligent. Then with the concept of this intelligence theory, there was one theory which we'll be taking up later on, that is, there are so many people, despite of their being highly intelligent, as labeled by their school authorities or by their significant others or by their family members or by their own self, right? So they say they are very intelligent people, they are highly, gifted children in the sense of I'm talking about the higher intelligence level. But we have seen that when they go for certain interviews or when they want to be placed in some professional schools or professional colleges, they fumble, they become nervous, they become nervous and they feel that as if they are feeling stressed. So they don't get able to face the interview board. So is it a result of that despite of scoring so high, they are not getting able to face the situation? So it means that despite of having the higher linguistic mathematical ability, they are not able to compete well in the interview. What is the reason behind that? That was a big question. That was a big question mark upon all these philosophers and thinkers, that why this particular person who has scored 95%, who is going to crack IIT exam, is not getting able to face the interview situation. So in that context, there was a theory which was propounded by Goleman, and he had stated that emotionally how much we are intelligent, that is also more important in relation to the academic intelligence. So then he had given the concept of emotional intelligence, and in the next series we will be discussing about the emotional intelligence. And thank you very much for listening me. Thank you very much.